let's assume now that somebody wants to start a building now. What should be like the first thing that the person should start doing, right? Assuming the person already has the land, what should be the first kind of materials or the first things that the person should start doing before, on a budget?
Okay, good. First of all,
when you say maintenance, because normally somebody will feel like once you build a house, you have built it now. What are you maintaining? Does the car need fuel to run, and all of that? So when you talk about complex designs that requires maintenance or that might require a lot of maintenance, what do you mean?
Talking about maintenance, there's this 8-bedroom duplex I did sometimes ago, 2018. Finished 2018 for a client. For like 2-3 years now, he hasn't visited for reasons, maybe one or two and all that. So, but now, recently on a particular festive period, he wants to visit. And now, engineer, we need to visit. And this house has been locked and kept. Sometimes every building requires materials, block, rod, and all these things comes in. So you look at the money you have at the hand at the moment.
Okay.
If it is to channel into molding blocks, you just go about molding blocks. Trust me, when we said building on a budget, and you can build it at the stage you want to stage, does not mean that if you have all the money, you can. But the BOK will give you stages.
Which of these 7 products will you advise your client to go for, or are they all the same quality but different manufacturers?
Because I have not gone to a project that I was a third engineer.
And you were not the last.
I was not the last. I also left it. I was not the last.
Oh, sorry. It would be good to share this story with us.
Exactly.
What was the problem? Like,
okay.
Why was the owner of the project changing engineers like clothes?
The client stays abroad. He's not in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now he has a brother who is an eye.
Hello, everybody. So, today we want to talk about something that is very important. What we have come to realize from our experience in buildings and all of that is that a lot of people feel like before you start building or before you can build a house from start to finish, you need to have budgeted maybe 50 million or 100 million or 200 million or those kind of amounts. But the point is, if you are somebody that does not have that kind of money, or the kind of business you are doing doesn't bring in that kind of cash flow or that kind of inflow of a lot of cash, you can actually start building on a budget. What I mean on a budget is maybe you have 5 million today and you already have the land, I assume, or you already have the land, you have 5 million today. You can start by maybe molding blocks with that money and keeping. After maybe a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you do this, you buy some bags of cement and store them and all of that. So before you know it, your house or your building is already standing on a budget. Like you didn't gather all the money at once before you were able to erect the structure. So in this episode today, we want to walk you through how you can actually get this done, right? How you can actually build your house without saving all the monies. I know we've made a video like this some weeks ago, but it seemed like a lot of you didn't get the explanation very much. So Engineer Desmond and I are sitting here to actually walk you through the process of how to actually build your house on a budget, right? So Engineer, over to you, sir.
Thank you.
So let's assume now that somebody has money and the person wants to start a building, assuming the person already owns the land, of course.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a land, you definitely have to buy one.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's assume now that somebody wants to start a building now. What should be like the first thing that the person should start doing, right? Assuming the person already has the land, what should be the first kind of materials or the first things that the person should start doing before, on a budget?
Okay, good. First of all, like you said, this person has a land already, which is a plus.
Of course.
But now, if you want to digress a little and talk about having land, you're having a land in choice location.
Okay.
But most times, we are talking about budget here. Budget building and how you can be in a budget and start from the little you have, or to the bigger and all that and all of that. Okay, now, you know very well that lands in locations, the prices are differs.
Differs.
Exactly. So sometimes the money used in buying one land can actually build houses depending on the location. Now, I want to first of all talk about land, which we have explained. Having a land is a plus, but the truth is that buying a land is, sometimes people are afraid of buying land in an undeveloped areas. Like there are a whole lot of real estate companies in Nigeria currently, and then those real estate are doing an amazing thing. Like an amazing thing in the sense that they have estates in different locations in the country, and they help through their efforts and their business idea and their business skills. They have helped people gain land. For example, people buy land with them, and your land is secured, and they will go to people's villages and buy acres of land. Like in Ibeju Lekki part of Lagos, real estate companies have helped people to develop. Also help people to save. Exactly.
Now developed.
Thank you. And
places that 5 years ago you would not even go there.
Thank you. And now those development is now traveling into the states in Nigeria, like Owerri, Asaba.
Mostly Asaba.
Asaba.
I don't know what's going on in Asaba. Asaba is crazy right now.
Asaba, Port Harcourt, Benin City, Port Harcourt mainly, many states, Nigeria, the east part of Nigeria, and all whatnot. So the essence is that this real estate has helped. So what we are trying to say here is that before now, somebody would say, if it's not the heart of the town, I'm not going to buy a land. But that idea has gone debunked in the sense that you have to start from somewhere.
Of course.
Everybody don't have the same fingers. Fingers are not the same. And basically the incomes and all that are not the same. So now, if you have a land, it's a plus. But if you don't have a land, it's encouraged that depending on your budget, you go to all these places, real estate, even if you are in the diaspora, you are not in the country or in Nigeria where we are currently practicing, you buy this land in those estates. Because and these estates are selling this land to not just one person. They sell to so many persons. And by the time before you know, people started developing and building before you know, thank you. And they are there.
Before you know, that area that looked like bush eventually becomes a town.
Exactly, because it's not
it just takes one person to erect a structure.
For example, we inspected a property weeks ago in Asaba.
In Asaba.
Exactly. And that is
for a client we met here on the channel.
On the YouTube channel.
I'm sure he's watching.
Exactly. And we are going to start constructing for him. He has even mobilized.
He has mobilized.
He has mobilized us. We're going to do borehole. We're going to do side house. We're going to do construction of a duplex.
That is land. It's even in an estate that
is an estate.
That they just develop.
Develop, exactly. Now, if our client say wanted to go and buy land in that place just for himself, he may not have that development and enthusiasm
to develop
power exactly. But as he's buying that land, maybe if the company has bought up to 50 plots or 50 acres, a lot of persons have bought. And short, I was talking to the lady, the agent who whom through we connected to get to see the place. She told me that they don't think they still have up to 3 plots or 4 remaining. That the first one is completed, that they are yet to open the first 2. Which is still on the close proximity. So, but before you know now, once one person start building, before you know, and the location is not bad. They have express, and this real estate company have the ability and they have the force to develop. So, first of all, we were talking about all this things just to help us. Okay, so if you have a land, don't be afraid of saying, I must buy the land in the heart of the city, depending on your budget. So, if you have the land, it's a plus. Now, building on a low budget is in the sense that with your small money, with your little money, that the money you feel, this money is not really, cannot do anything, you can get a land in those estates. Okay. You are going to have your documents given to you. You are going to have your document given to you. If you need us mention any of them, you can contact us privately. We have so many estates we are working with. We give it to you. Okay, but we are just giving a general note and advice here. Okay,
so then I haven't gotten the land. What's the next step? Assuming you already have the land now.
Yes. So I haven't gotten the land. You do a design. Okay. You have to do a design.
Design of the house.
The kind of house you want to do. You have to do a design. After you have done a design, and we'll now do a BOQ. Then talking
about
a
BOQ? Bill of quantity.
Bill of quantity. Bill of quantity will now guide you on what we are to do. Like the materials you'll be needing, the number of each of the materials, the cement, the rods, the sand, everything, the blocks, and everything that you'll be needing to finish the house.
So basically, a breakdown of how much it will cost to build a house.
Exactly, how much. And now, first of all, before you go into a design, the picture of the house, the pictorial idea of the house will come from you, the client. Meaning that you just have a choice. But you know, sometimes we are here to also advise you. Okay, I've met a lot of people through the YouTube channel today that who go into the internet and bring so much complex designs. We will advise you, depending on your budget. Now, this design, there are a lot of houses that maintenance-wise is quite not easy at the long run. And most of the people who are building house are building it for holidays. A lot of people who are working for their like holiday house. They're not just there, but they just have a house because
yeah, most of them live abroad. Most of them
stays
except the ones we do in urban cities. Those are the ones that people just occupy.
So if you want to go into this thing, you will do something you feel that at the long run you are good to go maintenance wise in completion and all that. But if you are building like a mall, those are business. Yeah. Whatever money or hotel, whatever money you can put in there, you're good to go. So you just check this thing. So design will come from you first. And after you have done the design, and I want to also talk about the design. Sorry.
Before we go ahead about this design, let's expatiate a little bit about the maintenance.
Okay, good.
You just mentioned, right?
Yeah.
So when you say maintenance, because normally somebody will feel like once you build a house, you have built it now.
Yeah.
What are you maintaining? Does the car need fuel to run? And all of that. So when you talk about complex designs that requires maintenance or that might require a lot of maintenance, what do you mean?
So when we talk about maintenance, the car you buy, you do maintenance. What is the maintenance? You have to buy fuel. Exactly. It's part of it. If you don't put the fuel, you cannot drive. Now, talking about maintenance, there's this 8-bedroom duplex I did sometimes ago, 2018. Finished 2018 for a client. He's resident in Nigeria here, but he stays in Lagos. He comes to this is like a village house. He comes to the
countryside home, you mean?
It's like a country home. He comes to the village once in a while. And then, for like 2-3 years now, he hasn't visited. For reasons, maybe one or two and all that. So, but now, recently on a particular festive period, he wants to visit. And now, engineer, we need to visit. And this house has been locked and kept. No, there's
that house in that place.
Exactly. There's a big queue. There's a big queue, and there's also a gate security house.
Yeah.
And now there's a security house where the security man is living. The big queue is part of an extension of the house, whereby whenever he comes, the domestic staff, those who comes with him, if the house is not, because of course when he comes with people. Now, this house somebody has lived in for 3 years. Even though
nobody has lived there for 3 years.
Yes, but even though once in a while, maybe 2 times in a year, we'll go open the house, clean it up and all that. But trust me, the house that someone is living in and the one they are not living in is not the same.
Yeah, because I know this particular house you're talking about. You guys even had to do a repaint. You had to repaint it again, and then change some things in the house.
And now the cost of the painting alone is about 1.2 million naira. The painting, as in just to repaint everywhere. That's after 3 years. Okay. After 3 years, and then we have to now change the plumbing is working fine, the system is working fine, but maybe the blockages, the taps, the taps, those things, you just do some maintenance. Even if it's 10 naira you spend at the end of the day, these are the things. And the bigger, the more the money.
The bigger the house.
The bigger the house, and exactly. And then the electrical, some bulbs are normal working. Bulbs, everybody know that these things are normal. Not that the wires that we have, that is the cable, are good. And they are workable. Yeah. But the bulbs now, you switch on, they are not coming up. Those things are the things that we are talking about maintenance. Then the flourish in the compound, maintenance, the cleaning and everything. So these things has to do. So you just have to make a decisions that you feel at the long run. Because you don't have it all the time.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So that's what it is.
All right.
Exactly. So, that's what it is. And then when we also talk about the design. After you've done the design, you go into BOQ, and the BOQ will guide you what you will need for this house. And then trust me, you don't need to have all the money at the same time.
Okay, so after the BOQ,
yes,
what is the next thing you should? Now we've done the drawing.
Yes.
We've acquired the land.
Yes.
We've done the drawing.
Yes.
And then we've done the bill of quantity, which basically guides you through how much you will actually need to build the house, or to get the house from maybe foundation to roofing,
to the stage you will need it.
So after the BOQ, what next should you be looking out for?
After the BOQ, what you need out for is sometimes every building requires materials, block, rod, and all these things comes in. So you look at the money you have at the hand at the moment.
Okay.
If it is to channel into molding blocks, we just go about molding blocks. Trust me, when we said building on a budget, and you can build it at the stage you want to stage, does not mean that if you have all the money, you can. But the BOK will give you stages, foundational stages, social stages, all the stages, the finishing, the carcass, and all whatnot. So you do them. So, but now we are talking about the budget here. If you don't have money to finish it at the go, you can start them on stages. What are the stages? We have the foundational stage, and then what is the requirement for foundation stage? And you say, okay, this foundation stage will require 5 million naira, and you don't have 5 million, and you have 1 million. That 1 million naira has a job. What is it? Can buy blocks.
Can buy blocks.
Can buy blocks. Can build blocks. Can start producing blocks. Can produce blocks and can get rods. Rods don't get spoiled. The only thing that we can't really buy and keep is the cement because of depending on the time. But if maybe you want to start work like in less than a month, we can get cement. We have a way of securing them. You know. So these are the things you have, because these are things that once you are able to sort them out, it gives you a room and gives you leverage. And trust me, when we're also talking about design, there is no kind of design that you send to us that will not be able to replicate. Some people get them on the internet, will replicate them for you. It's just about what you want.
Modify and replicate.
Yes.
Okay. Now, in a building, indeed, you just mentioned cement blocks. Either you buy or you mold, right?
Yeah.
From your experience as an engineer, molding or buying, which one is better?
Molding is better.
Molding is better.
Yes.
Why?
Because you control the quality. You also control costs.
Really?
Yes.
So you are saying it is cheaper to mold than to buy?
Yes. You control quality and you also control costs.
Costs, okay.
If there is time. Don't forget our topic here. Our topic is on a budget. And apparently if you don't have all the money, all the text to do at once, you can start it. But now we have also gone into a project whereby there is no time. There's a timeline for this project. And we have less than 3 months to do the house. It's a duplex. So what I did was to give an example to sample of the block to the guy who's producing it. Then he now gave us our quality.
Okay, so in other words, molding it yourself is better because you can control the quality and the cost.
Yeah.
But it's not fast.
Yes.
So buying is faster.
Buying is faster.
Because those ones they use industrial machines.
Yes.
So they can produce in.
Yes. But like I said, we can also get the industrial guys to the site, like the one we have done before.
Okay.
They come in and produce it for us.
Okay.
But that also depends on the timing. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So now, what are the materials that you just mentioned? Rods.
Yeah.
On a budget now, I say, okay, let's say I have 5 million now. I say, what are the 5 things that I should just buy and I should just buy and keep, you get, so that the project can start? And you mentioned rod. What else again? Because cement is out of it because it might go bad.
Depending on the time.
Depending on the on a budget now, we know that sometimes we don't, because of maybe the way cash flow is, so we don't really have a time frame, but we just know that this is the beginning of 2024.
Yeah.
At the end of 2024, I want to move into my house.
Okay.
You get?
Okay.
So what are I want you to just give us the list of those essential materials that we should really focus on.
Yeah.
Apart from cement. Okay. Of course, cement is one of the most essential materials.
Yes. Okay. Now, there are 2 most essential materials that must play in from the beginning, in the first stage of the construction.
Okay.
Cement and wood.
Cement and wood.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let me mention.
Oh, really wood?
Let me mention the essential materials here, and then we'll also talk about the ones that we can't really get depending on the time and because of their lifespan.
Okay.
The essential materials are cement 1, rod 2, sand 3, granite 4, and then the wood 5.
Okay.
These are the 5 most essential. These ones, before you said I want to start these things, these ones has to be on ground. Okay, now out of these 5, 2 can wait.
Okay.
Depending on the timeline. So you first get rod, you get sand, you get sand, and then get granite. Okay. These ones can stay.
Rod, sand, and
granite. This one can stay as long as. But like I said,
these ones will not spoil.
They don't get spoiled. They are just there. They don't get spoiled. And even as a matter of fact, in the country where we are, those ones are not affected by inflation. Also affect materials purchasing. You know, so sometimes you go to buy, they were 5,000 today, tomorrow it becomes 5,500. So those ones are there; they don't get spoiled.
So in other words, just if you have money now, just buy and keep.
Yes.
Because by tomorrow the price.
The price exactly. But if your budget, your plan time is within 1 month, and you saw that okay, you have been given a bill of foundation, and the foundation is 1 month, 5 million naira, and you have you are going to have 5 million in 1 month. I encourage you to buy cement, because cement will never go bad. Because even though selling in their shops, you don't know when they buy it. All you know is when you go to the shop to buy and you check if it's good to go. Yeah, you pick it up and do your work. So we have a way of preserving them. How? When we get a house for it, we elevate it above the ground level.
Okay, not
we
to
put a hand, not to because it coal, yes, affect it. Yes.
Okay.
So because I have used cement, you don't 1 month, like the last project we are just finished decking. That cement came about 600 bags of cement in a trailer. Yeah, and it's beyond 1 month.
Okay, yeah,
we have been using it.
I remember that.
It's good to go. We're using it so because so cement can go. The wood can also go within that 1 month period.
Okay.
But anything outside 1 month, I would not encourage you to go buy cement. Okay. Or wood.
Okay, I have 2 questions about cement.
Okay, good.
First one, can you go to these people that sell cement, right, and buy from them and say, let me buy and keep?
Yes.
And say, okay, I won't pay you for this cement, but I will take them in 2 months' time.
I have done that.
Do they accept?
They do.
Because the reason I'm asking if they accept is, what if as of the time that you want to come and take it, inflation has happened and the cement price has gone up? Won't it bring problem? Somebody might have because somebody might have, let's say, 2 million or 3 million, right? And the person does not want to spend the money, but the person wants to invest the money in cement. And of course, maybe the person knows that I'm not ready in the next 3 months. Like, I might not be able to, I'm not sure of cash that time, but this 3 million I have now, I would just like to put it inside cement that would take me a long way. And so instead of buying the cement and keep, you now go to these dealers and go and give them money and say, this is my money for 10 bags or 50 bags of cement, right? And then after a while now, maybe inflation happens and cement has gone up. Wouldn't you have issues with them?
Okay,
because
fine.
they will tell you, okay, when you've been paying the money, cement na 5,000. Now cement na 5,500. So you go balance us again.
Okay, good. Everything about business has to do with trust.
Of course.
Good. So in order to answer your question, everything business has to do with trust. For example, someone who collected money for cement, currently now, the cement is sold for 5,800, 5,700, depending on location. Good. Now, if you give someone money at 557 for 100 bags of cement, which is 570,000, so give you cement when you will needing it, and the person uses that money to do a turnover, then when you are going back to buy the cement, and the cement is now sold for 6,000, the person is not losing anything. Okay. Because he must have used that your 570,000 to make business. He's bought, he has sold, he's bought, he's sold. So everything has to play with trust.
So basically,
so you do this kind of thing with someone you trust.
You trust, okay.
Nothing more, nothing less.
There has to be an agreement.
It has to be an agreement and trust.
All right.
Yes.
Also, my second question about cement before we go ahead is, there are different cement products in Nigeria. There's Dangote. I know Dangote is the most popular one. Yeah. Which other ones again?
We have Superset, we have 3X, we have Bois Cement, we have Lafarge. Lafarge are Superset.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, they are the ones that are. All right. So now, from your experience in constructing or in buildings and constructions, which of these cement products will you advise your client to go for? Or are they all the same quality but different manufacturers?
Yes, they are the same quality but different manufacturers. They are the same.
Because a lot of people usually say Dangote is the best.
They are all good, and they have gone through consumer protection processes. 3X, 4X, whatever. They are all good.
Okay, so no one is better than the other.
Yeah, they are good. They are all good. The cements are all good.
You've used all of them.
I've used all of them. Yeah, they are good.
And no one of them have used, and they say, okay, the wall of the house they shake like this.
No. There's their principles and their basics for constructions.
Okay.
Once you apply the principles, your building stays.
Okay.
Their principle and their basis of construction. Someone you not come and use, for example, now, that's why we talk about BOQ from our beginning. The BOQ will guide you how many cement you'll be needing at the foundation stage. Some people said, okay, I will need 300 bags of cement at the foundation stage. And the clients will now say, oh, manage 100 bags. Or the clients will give you even 500 bags of cement at that stage, depending on what you need. And the engineers will go and use less. So you know what you're looking for. So there's aggregating, there's a measurement, and there's a ratio. So once you apply these things, even in building, even when it comes to the rotting in the house, there's a measurement. The sand has a measurement. There is granite, that's the concrete. The chippings has their own measurement. The rod has their own specification, which you have to apply. Nothing more. Even the wood you apply have their measurement. They have their space and they have where they should be. They have their procedures. So once these procedures have been applied, then nobody will come and say cement. No, all they are good.
Okay.
They are good.
All right. No wahala. So now moving forward.
Yeah.
So you mentioned all the essential materials we need to have for the first stage.
Yes.
So these materials are the materials that basically you should be investing in small if you want to be buying. And also, since you are building on a budget, and I also feel like since you are building on a budget, it is better you get people to come and mold your own blocks for you.
Yes.
Since it is more price friendly.
Exactly.
Because the two building and molding your own and buying from the dealers, your own is buying takes time, right?
Yes.
And then molding
takes time.
Molding takes time. Then buying your own and buying from the people that have already done it faster.
Yes.
But since you have time, you can decide to just mold.
Yes, exactly.
Which is better for you.
Exactly.
Okay. So and also, do you need to consult an engineer or you need to consult somebody that is an expert before you start buying these materials?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Okay. I know that in the BOQ, the size of maybe the rods and all that is usually specified in the BOQ.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, they are specified.
Okay, so if you have been given the bill of quantity,
yes,
you can use that bill of quantity now and acquire the material.
Yes. If you know what you're buying.
If you know what you're
buying.
For
example, if you want to fix your car and you take your car to a mechanic and the mechanic lists out the things you need for the mechanic lists out the things you'll be needing to fix your car.
Yeah.
What do? Go with the mechanic to buy those things. If you feel that trust is not there, go with the mechanic to buy these things. And then make sure you pay for the right thing and take these things yourself. Take these things, you paid for them. Okay. We've done a lot of that with clients. There are some jobs we go and the clients choose to go into marketing and then it does it. And we are good. We go with you, we make our choice. Because for the fact that you are the client and you are the one paying, choice is yours if you have the time.
Okay, to follow the market.
Yes.
Okay, so in other words, you're advising these people that if you want to go and buy, even though you are doing it on a budget, have an engineer that you can always consult before you spend your money on anything.
Yes.
So that you don't go and buy the wrong materials and come.
Yes.
That will not work. Yes. Mostly rods. If it's a duplex you are trying to build.
Yeah.
If you not go and buy rods that were meant for foundation, for decking, and all of that. Okay, so I haven't done all of this. So is this how you will continue acquiring the materials small until you get to the other stage?
Yeah.
At what stage will you advise that after the person has acquired the material for the first stage, you can bring the engineer in to construct that first stage?
It just all depends on the person. Because some people will feel that I don't like doing half and half. Okay. Even if I want to start, I want to achieve a milestone.
Okay.
And what are the milestones? That's why whenever we do our bill for you, we'll do them in stages. Okay. Foundation stage, foundation to DPC is a stage. DPC to decking is a stage if it's a duplex or it's a story building, and the water view. Then if it's a bungalow, foundation to DPC is also a stage. DPC to roofing level is a stage. Roofing itself is a stage. Okay. So if you feel that after acquiring some materials, which you are guided on the BOQ, and how far you can go, after acquiring these materials and you can start, we go ahead and start. But it's always good, like we personally do it in milestone. You see, some people go to people's side and you see haphazardly job. It is very bad. Now, why that is so disadvantageous, because if you do your project from foundation to DPC and know that stage is completed, eventually, and you want to continue, the engineer who did this other one was on ground. In as much as you have the drawing, you
can always get another engineer.
Exactly, to come in. But, and it's also advisable not to, because I have gone to a project that I was a third engineer.
And you were not the last.
I was not the last. I also left it. I was not the last.
Oh, sorry. It would be good to share this story with us.
Exactly.
What was the problem? Like,
okay.
Why was the owner of the project changing engineers like clothes?
The client stays abroad. He's not in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now he has a brother who is an eye. So our interest is not to go to people's family and cause problems and cause issues with your brother. But the truth is that the way we work and how we operate is, sometimes we go to this project and the client will say, you are going to meet my brother, but let me be involved on what is going on.
Of course.
Because you're spending the money. Thank you. So what we do is that anything we buy, we make sure you have the picture.
Yes, and they receive it as well.
And exactly. We are transparent about that very well. So, but in the other end, if it doesn't work that way, it's going to cause issues. But this other one that I was a third engineer wasn't that way. We're transparent with our procurement. We were not the person buying
the material.
Exactly. So, but we always get involved. We always say, okay, we need this, because even in the ground has sizes. There's a size for foundation, there's a size for DPC, there's a size for casting of pillars, the size for casting of parapet, concrete fixtures. There's a size for every stages. So he does that. I will tell him, okay, I need to number of wood, and this is the size. And he does that. He's quite experienced, even though he's not an engineer. He knows that. But the truth is that whenever we send a bill across, he will always want to smash it.
It's cut it in half.
Yes, he wants to always know that this thing is too high. It's too high, and it's too high. So he has a way of also influencing the brother that this thing is too high. It's not so. At the end of the day.
And of course, when you are building, you cannot compromise quality for anything.
You cannot compromise quality. Neither will I compromise my labor. Okay. Because we are so particular about our labor fee. Pay us our labor and get us your materials. We are going to work for you.
Work for you.
Yes. Give us our labor. The labor is just the normal labor that is paid across the globe. It is not something that is high the roof.
Exorbitant.
Exorbitant. We are not going to say, okay, because we are in US, we are going to, we are not using US minimum wage. We are not going to use a Canada minimum wage. Neither we are going to use UK. We are not going to use Ghana either. Even we are not using Benin Republic here. That is close to us. We are using Nigerian minimum wage.
Yeah.
The cost of living here, the cost of transportation, the cost of living here. That, okay, what does someone get at the end of the month after working for 31 days? Or even if he does it daily, because our work is subletted to daily pay, monthly, weekly pay, hours, we're not doing hours, daily pays and all that. So we are not charging you beyond what it is obtained in this part of the country.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but if you choose to go and if you go around that and try to make it, it's not going to work, because number one, when the workers get their due payments, the output of the work will come out very well. That is why a lot of our jobs comes out well, because the workers has to be paid how it should be paid.
Okay.
And once they get their pay, I, the engineer or the supervisors, because I also have other guys supervising with me, we now tell them, you can put this and no, this one is this and not that. And then if anything happens to your building, hold us accountable.
Okay.
So that was the case in this
particular
man. Whenever there's a bill sent, he wants to, it's too high, it's too high, it's too high. And we'll manage that, and then we leave. And I believe that was the reason why.
The other engineers.
Because I also found that, because when I went into the project, I asked questions and I said, I need to see the drawing. And I was given the drawing, I investigated the columns. The house wasn't plastered yet, so I checked the pillars. That was
everything was fine.
It was fine. And it was the other engineer.
So which means the other engineer knew what he was doing.
He did a super building, super job, super. I have not met him today. I don't know him. I don't know whether he knows me, but he did a super job.
Okay. So in other words, it is important that as a client, when you should listen more to your engineer, not
yes.
like, because I know a lot of people usually do this thing. There's what on the street they call ITK. I do know.
Yes.
Because I mean, you might know about rods, you might know about cement, you might know how much they sell, but it is not your field.
Yeah.
So it is the person that will use these materials to work
Yes.
that will give the final say of this is the one that will be best for you.
Exactly.
You know, so a lot of clients, even not in only this our field, like we experience it a lot.
Yes.
A lot of clients will actually want to.
The intrusion will be just so much that as if you didn't know. If you feel that I didn't know what I'm doing, why did you call me?
Did you call me?
Call me for interview. Let us discuss.
Yes,
ask me the things I have done. Ask things I've done. Inquire about me.
And of course, there's evidence everywhere.
Evidence, exactly. So if you call us, I am not saying your input is not welcome. Your input is always welcome. Ask questions. That there's a lady we are currently building, and we are in less than 2 days we are going to be doing the second decking casting. She calls.
We met her here on the,
on the YouTube. She calls always.
She's doing a two-story,
yes,
12-bedroom
duplex. Somewhere in the east part of Nigeria. She called always. Whenever we share pictures, she will ask questions.
Yes.
Oh, that please. Oh,
sometimes she will say she wants let's have a meeting.
A meeting, and we do regular meeting. We have meetings, and one of the things that made me to know that this person knows what she wants, and also wants to make sure that we're on track is she will say, "Oh, sorry, during our meeting, during our discussion, you mentioned that there's going to be a chain link there. Have we gotten to that stage yet? Please, I want to remind you that you said that you will do this.
And I would like to see picture.
I would like to see picture. God bless you, sir. Every stages, we discuss this thing. So whenever you go to that stage, we should do a video, we'll see picture. The reason is that the picture we are sending to her, she may also be sharing with other persons. Videos, The picture we are sending to her is not also, she may also be sharing with other persons. Because we allow you to share pictures with any other person. And when we come discussing with you and tell you what the things we do, when we show you what we are doing, share it with any other professionals of our kind. And if there are things, questions to ask questions.
Yes,
and then if you feel that what we are doing is not in order, based on our agreement, we can back out. But not coming and I've once worked for a client and said, the number of rod is too much and you have to, no. This is a 3-story building in a swamp, somewhere in Ibejuleki. We constructed a school that, the road we use here, we shouldn't have been. And we are doing a walkway that has about 1.5 meters, and that is how the floors will be. Ground floor, first floor, second floor, the third floor. And then we want to introduce internal beam on a particular size of road, and you are saying, no, it doesn't work. We shouldn't do that. And these are things that is in the drawing. It's specified.
Of course. And these are the reasons why buildings collapse.
Exactly.
When you start compromising material.
So we are also open. I also did a job somewhere where the client is not in this part of the country. We have actually worked with a lot of clients who are not in this country. You know. The client is not in this country. And then he sends his structural engineer to look at what we are doing. The guy comes unannounced. Sometimes when we send picture to the man, he shares to the structural engineer. And when the guy is coming, he's coming with the pictures that he was sent to. And he will say, okay, this is good. I think we should do this. Even now, we will end up working with the structural engineer. But the structural engineer is a bigger guy. He's a big-time engineer that is not in this our level. He has gone beyond our level.
So he just comes
He doesn't have... So the guy pay him on consultancy. Consultancy. Just to have a second thought, which is his own. And I don't have problems about that. And the guy now end up working with us. He comes and says, your work is fine. I like your work. We discuss things. He comes and check our work. So you are also free to go that route if you want. But don't tell us to devalue our standard or quality. We will not do that. I will never. Maybe if you are supposed to use 5 bags of cement and you are telling me to use 4, I won't do it. Is it better we leave the job and someone that will do it should come and do it? And then we are not interested about materials. We are going to tell you how many materials we will need. That is why we do BOQ. The BOQ is a guide. We cannot just come and tell you, okay, you want to build a 4-bedroom bungalow, it's going to cost you 30 million naira. No, we will put it in writing. What arrive to 1 million, to 2 million, to 3 million, to 30 million naira. Then, you will see where labor is separated from the materials. You even see logistics. So, it is up to you now to say, all right, in this 30 million naira, your labor fee is 3 million, I have seen. Okay? When you start this, I'm going to give you 500,000. Just like I'm working for a client, that's how he gives me. He brought this. He say, okay, engineer, I'm going to bring some number of rod as you request. Check the integrity of the rod because my uncle sells it. It's an important. He sells rod. He's a merchant. So I cannot have money to I don't have money to dash my uncle, but I want to patronize him. And I've asked him the kind of rod he wants, and he said he has it. So he's going to supply it to the site. When he comes, check and be sure that it's the right thing. And when the rod comes, I check and it's what it is. Some people use this avenue to help their relative back home. Exactly, because these are people who also have their business doing. Some sell cement, some sell rod, some sell wood, and you can do as well. We are not biased about it, but let the right materials be supplied. And then when the material is supplied by whoever, either your friend, your relative, or whoever, let the person share a picture of what he supplied. Because I'm not going to send the same picture, but give me my supervision fee, and that supervision fee can also come in stages. Our labor fee can also come in stages because they are also attached in stages.
Okay, no problem. Yes. So now there is a I haven't given this idea of how to start this start your building on a budget and the materials you should focus on and all of that.
Yeah.
Now this I didn't plan this one as part of this video, but let me just talk about it. Right. So when we say building, right?
Yeah.
I noticed something. A lot of people don't know that from the clients we've spoken to or that I've been speaking to.
Yeah.
I noticed that most of them don't know the difference between carcass and finishing.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Carcass and finishing. Yes. A lot of people don't know the difference.
Yes.
Because when you tell somebody that, okay, maybe 25 million or 40 million can raise the building from foundation to carcass, they don't understand. They usually think that, okay, once they give you 40 million, the house will be ready for them to move in.
Yeah.
Right? So I just wanted to expand on this and let's talk about this part of it for the purpose of general education. So when we talk about, when you want to build, there are two main stages. The first one is the foundation to the carcass.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Now, once you get to the carcass, once you have the foundation to carcass means you've built everything. The house is looking the way it's looking on the drawing, and with the roof included.
Yes.
Now, once you get to the roof or the carcass, that means the carcass is complete.
Yes.
Now, at that point, that brings you to the second stage of that house, which is what is called finishing.
Yes.
And finishing is totally subjective, right? Finishing is totally subjective. For instance, now, some people can decide to use Italian marble tiles. Some people can decide to use Italian gotti tiles. Like there's this man, I once went to his house. If you see tiles, the amount that he bought the tiles, only the tiles in his living room, was over 20-something million that time. Italian tiles. So he wants the best tiles so that when his friends enter, they will say, I ain't not arrived too. That kind of thing. So, but again, you can still use good Nigerian tiles. Right? What they call those tiles? Veroni. Good Veroni Nigerian tiles. Those tiles are still okay. You can still use them in your house, and those things are ceramic. They are very price friendly. Right? What you can do is probably maybe in your living room, you can maybe use expensive tiles. But in places that people don't really go to that much, like in your bathroom, in your kitchen and all that, you can use good Nigerian tiles, you know. And then also things like the door in front of your house, like maybe the main entrance door. Some people might decide to use a bulletproof door, which will cost a lot of money. That is up to you. But I think with 500,000, you should be able to get a very nice door.
Good turkey door.
Good turkey door that you can put in front of your house that is going to look
good security door.
Good, really good. And those doors are security. They are security doors, right? So basically, you might spend 40 million naira on the carcass, you know, and you can still spend like 200 million in finishing the house, depending on what you want. Like for instance, now the light in your living room, the chandelier. You can buy good chandelier for like 60K, 70K. But yet, some people might still decide to say, okay, I want a gold-plated chandelier, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, they might buy a chandelier of 5 million naira. That is up to you, right? So if an engineer tells you that your house, we're going to build a house for you for maybe 50 million, ask the person, is this 50 million from the foundation to the carcass stage? If they say yes, Then you say, okay, after then, what comes next is the finishing. You now decide what you want to use or how you want the house to look inside, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So that's exactly, you've said it all. You've said it all. You've said it all. So finishing, that's why when we are doing finishing, when we are doing bill of quantity for finishing, we ask you, what is your basic? What is your style? How do you want it? Because just like you've said it all, there's a chandelier for 1.3 million, there's a chandelier for 5 million, there's a door for 300,000, there's a door for 500,000. But when it comes to the construction of the house itself, it's a straightforward principle. But the finishing is always the basic, subjective, and it's about. And even the POP designs are so complex.
Yeah,
they are designed that consume more materials than the other. Exactly. So these are things that we discuss hitherto, and we put heads together and have arrived so that. Well, we have also worked with a lot of people who gives us all the money and say, this is what I want.
Okay.
So when you give us money from design,
just deliver the house.
When you give us money from design and tell us whatever you want, give it to you.
Okay.
Any design you get on the internet, we give it to you. We've also share designs on what we will have. It depends on what we want to have in mind. We'll give it to you. We are very, very flexible and complex. Flexible, we are not complex. We are flexible, very, very flexible. If you have a design, we work with you. Anyone, we will do it for you. You want to procure materials, we are available. You want to do it in stages, we are available. You want to buy it small, anyhow, we are also available.
All right, engineer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I hope this video helps you guys, and I hope you've learned something new here today. If you have any question or you want to reach out, numbers are in the description of this video. And if you have any question at all that you would like us to address, leave them down in the comments. We'll still sit down like this and record a video and answer your question if the question is worth sitting down and making a video for. Or you can give us a call and ask us the questions directly. We're available for that, right? So thank you very much. Have a good day, have a good year, have a good weekend and all of that. So we'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.